Hi, my name is Kevin and I have Pemphigus vulgaris. If you search on YouTube for Pemphigus vulgaris sucks, you can see me when I was kind of at my worst. The reason I'm making this video today is that I've always thought that it would be great if there was one centralized place where somebody newly diagnosed with the disease or going through it badly can get some sort of tips of the trade of little things that help not with what your medical decisions are and your treatment decisions are, but how do you day to day get through with as little pain, suffering as humanly possible. And so, you come down with the disease and you start Googling, you see some scary pictures. Knock on wood, you find the Facebook groups, the Pemphigus support groups that are out there. But even then, it's hard to find old information. And I know some of the things that I'm going to talk about here, I've posted on there probably 30 times. So I thought, wouldn't it be cool if we have one place? So what I'm going to encourage everybody in the Pemphigus community to do, please, is post yours into the comments here. Either you can post a link to your own video or type up tricks of the trade, because we know that the disease manifests itself differently in everyone. My issues were my head, a little bit on my neck, my chest and my back. My mouth, not too bad, and my throat got it, my nose got it a little bit, but other people, it's their mouth that's the worst. So I'm going to give my tricks of the trade, and I'm hoping that others will add to this. One disclaimer: I will not approve any comments that recommend solely the use of alternative medicines. I'm not trying to say anything bad about them or how they may be complementary to traditional medicine, but I cannot in good conscience put anything on my channel that says to anybody not to take their meds. I am a big proponent of the use of rituximab, and minimizing the use of prednisone. Prednisone did all kinds of horrible things permanently to me. But I can't, the only people, or pretty much the only people that I've seen die of this disease or come really close to that, are people that did not take their meds. So with that said, I want to say I am not a doctor. What I'm going to talk about here is only the stuff that helped me from my personal experience. May or may not be of relevance to you. So I'm going to start off with what was the biggest thing for me, and that is Telfapad. This is truly not something that your wounds will not stick to. Kind of see it there. And I use this to heal my back. So the way my stuff was going, I did not have any safe way to sleep. There was no safe sleeping position. So I used this on my back, and you can do research sometimes into what they do for burn victims, because the way our skin sloughs off is kind of similar to how burn victims need to be treated. But what I used to do is I'd cut off a piece of this. I would put on some of my steroid ointment. This is a triamcinolone. Onto it, stick it over my wounds, use a little piece of paper tape. I was able to use paper tape because my lesions were scattered. They weren't like all over my back. There's other forms of like mesh and netting, I think, that burn victims do use. And then I would just, when I would bathe, which was in a bathtub pouring water over me, I'd just let that kind of take them off with it. But anyways, that was just the hugest thing. Everything else was sticking to my wounds. This stuff will not stick. And so the way I healed my back is actually what's called wet healing, like is done with burn victims. And it never dried, it never scabbed, but little by little by little, the lesions on my back got better. An important part of that, because I was sleeping on my back, was to try to minimize the amount of friction that would happen as I would move around at night. This thing was a huge help. Thank you, Mom, because my mom recommended one of these to me. It is I think it's called a wool skin pad. People with diabetes apparently use them sometimes, but it just feels like the old sheepskin car seat covers that you used to have. But I put this down and I would sleep on it, and just that little bit of cushion made a huge amount of difference, so that when I'd have my Telfapads on my back lying there, if I moved a little bit, it gave me a little bit of push before it started sloughing off the skin. Both Telfa, you will not find it, or at least I didn't find it at any of my pharmacies here. Bought it on Amazon. Same thing with the Wolfskin pad. I think that it was about $60 and well worth it. I used to travel with that thing. It was great. Next up, I'm going to show for the mouth, Magic Mouthwash. There's a lot of different formulations on it. It's a prescription item. Just ask your doctor. If you've got pain in your mouth, say, hey, I heard about Magic Mouthwash, but ultimately it's a Maalox base, and they put different types of lidocaine and painkillers. I gargled it, and it helped me a lot with my throat. Magic Mouthwash. I had lesions, activity underneath my arms, could not use antiperspirant or deodorant. This still stung a little bit, but only for a second when I put it on. It's one of those Thai salt stones, and it really did help a lot to, I guess it gets rid of the bacteria to control odor under the arms. So once again, bought it on Amazon. Bezos, you owe me. Okay, I'm gonna try to do this quickly because I don't have that many of them. So again, you can look up in YouTube Pemphigus Vulgaris sucks, and you can see just how bad my head is. This stuff, it is, whoops, sorry, fluorocidamide. Am I reading that properly? Fluorocidamide, fluoquinolone, acetonode, topical oil, scalp oil. I'd put this on at night, I'd wet my hair, cover it in that, you put a little bath cap on and sleep in it. It really, really did a good job. I should probably be using it more now because I always have some scab on my head. But I don't like wearing the thing at night. But when my head, this really helped a lot to clear it up. Not a lot of doctors, they don't all seem to know about it. But good stuff. I'm not going to call this a trick of the trade. When I was initially diagnosed, I was given betamethasone valerate and told to put it on my scalp, but I was always told, and this is going to be relevant in a second with my last tip, that everything had to be petroleum jelly, Vaseline based, no other creams or anything like that. I know other doctors don't say that. All I can say is that's what I was told. So I was originally given for my head an ointment of the same steroid, but it was a pain to put that on my hair, and there were these little tiny tubes. And I looked it up and I found this. So this actually comes out like a mousse that you can put in your hair. If you have open lesions, it burns, and this stuff hurts. As a matter of fact, I used it this week because I've been having some scabbing going on in my head, and the nice thing about it is I can put it in and I can go out and do my thing for the day, but I noticed that it does make my scalp hurt, and that's why I originally stopped using it. However, if you have to have a steroid in your head all day long and you have to look presentable, they do make it in a mousse form. So, just opens up and like shaving cream or styling mousse. Okay, I've got one last one, the controversial one. Now, I was told on my lesions that the only thing I could put on them was steroids or plain Vaseline. And I had this one spot here, if you look at my videos, and it hurt. And I asked them, like, is there something you can give me for the pain? And they said no. And I refused to accept that. I was already a medical cannabis user for sleep, and so I said, okay, and I took some Vaseline, and I heated it up on a coffee burner, and I added some hash oil to it, and I made this balm, and this balm was the bomb. And so I used to use it just on this one wound here, and it did help with pain relief. So you need an activated hash oil. I honestly don't remember how much I put in it. This thing has lasted forever because I used a lot of it. And anyways, I found that it helped a lot. And admittedly, I found that cannabis helped to just take everything down a lot. As a matter of fact, when I was at my worst one day, I was away out of town for a soccer tournament with my daughter, and my tension level was up high, and we went out to this El Salvadorian restaurant, and at lunch, I said, you know what, I'm going to have a beer. I don't usually have a beer at lunch. And it helped a ton. So I started making, I said, you know what, dude, you can have a beer at lunch if it helps. So anyways, those are my tips of the trade. Please, people, participate, send us some more, put some stuff on here, because I think this can truly be a big help to those people that are just going through it for the first time. Hang in there. This disease, it sucks. I can't say anything other than that. But if you can get through treatment, your lesions and scabs will go away, and hang in there. We've got a great community of people. All right. Peace.